Oh, good morning. Hello, everyone.
Hi, friends.
Welcome to the We're Better When We Come Together
Morning show.
with Dr. Teri Murphy.
And Chris Murphy.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
What's happening?
He just dropped some news on me that I had
That's
forgotten
not.
about. That I had forgotten
there
about.
There we go. It's not drop news.
It was dropped.
What?
It felt like a drop in my soul. Drop kicked my heart.
Hey, good morning, you all.
Hello.
I love your Instagram handle, by the way. Embrace who you are. That's really cool. Mm-hmm. Very, very cool. How are you both doing? Facebook. Hello, welcome. We're not seeing any people, we're seeing that there are people on Facebook watching, but we're not seeing who you are, so.
That's the only bummer about Facebook is it doesn't just tell
but sometimes
you
it does. Sometimes it does.
Oi.
Oi! Hey, it's Friday. We made it to Friday, everybody. I'm so excited.
Yesterday went on and on.
Yesterday is still happening.
I basically had a 12-hour workday that was at a yellow into red alarm frequency of just intensity all the day long.
Yeah.
It really was,
Yes.
don't you think?
You had quite the day.
I really did.
Yeah, you
I
did.
did. How was your day? How was your day?
Can I just say this for all of you joining us? This is non-alcoholic singer's throat spray. For those of you or us
Been yelling into Zoom calls.
who do a lot of chatting, this is really good. It really works. It's nice. It tastes horrible.
It's like if Satan woke up with really bad breath and then you decided to drink it.
Well, that's a way to describe things.
Doesn't it feels accurate, doesn't it?
I was going to say it tastes like straight celery. Straight celery.
If celery was evil.
Like if you took the essence of celery and then put it in some oil and then mixed it all together, that's what this tastes like.
What is it?
But this plus this is a weird combination. So in a few minutes, if I get sick on camera here, you'll know it's because I
Just
combine
projectile.
things.
It says don't use during pregnancy, so I don't know if we should really be using it either.
Do you have something to tell me?
Do you?
Yes, I'm pregnant. What if I let you know that? That sounds like
Probably.
something from days of yore.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wife, you are pregnant.
It would also have to be a miracle. It's yerba, but I like yerba. Stone root, licorice, asha.
You know what? Maybe we look at that when we're not here with these fine
echinacea
folks.
and ginger. Jack in the pulpit. I told you there was some sort of religious significance to the evil inside that thing.
Hey, everybody. How are you doing?
Do y'all get sore throats after being on Zoom all day? So, my whole therapy practice is all online. It's all online therapy. So, for 14 hours a week, probably more, I am loudly speaking into Zoom calls.
Yeah.
I know teacher friends have to do that and are about to start ramping up. I just saw our daughter's school schedule, and she's going to be on Zoom for 7 or 8 hours
It's
a day.
essentially turn Zoom on in the morning and don't turn it off until you're finished with school. That's our daughter's school schedule. We don't know what classes she has, but we do know that all of them will be
teachers,
just
though.
constantly on Zoom.
Right? It's like a lose-lose situation. I feel bad that politics and all other things are being sorted out through our children. That just doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't sit right with me.
I actually had a conversation with a few teachers the other day, just what are your opinions? Because you're the ones that have to go back to school with all these children. What are your opinions? And they were mixed. They were mixed reviews. Some people were like, I just want things to go back to normal, and I want to teach in person. We all want to be here. We want to be doing good work. We know that it's most effective when the kids are here. But then others were like, you could tell that they weren't saying what they really thought.
On Tuesday, we hit over 9,000 cases of children under the age of 18 with positive COVID results in the state of Tennessee, and it just feels like a lot.
Hey, could you do me a favor over on Facebook? If you're on Facebook and you're watching, hi, good morning, happy Friday. Could somebody just throw in a comment? I want to see if comments work. Because again, every now and then, you can, whatever you want, emoji, a number, a comment, the word comment, whatever you want to do. I just want to see if it's working. But welcome to the Come Together Morning Show. It's Friday. We want to hit the ground running for the weekend. I know I do. I woke up this morning and I slept so hard that it took me a long time to wake up. But now that I'm awake...
It's like one of those times where you wake up and you're like, where am I?
Exactly.
What's happening?
Yes. I was in the middle of a dream when my dog woke me up.
Magic Step.
That's a cool name. I woke up with my dog trying to wake me up to go to the bathroom.
Yay,
hey!
Ryan!
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate that. Good.
Ryan knows the head roaster of Counterculture, which is the coffee that we're drinking.
When you said roaster, what I thought was like the Comedy Central roast or the Friars Club roast of comedians.
Hi.
Good morning. That's what I thought when you said head roaster. Is like when they...
I don't know why you couldn't do both.
Like how Jeff Ross is...
I'm a comedian, even though I'm a therapist.
Okay, she just left, apparently. Wow.
It's called making an exit.
Yeah, well, you certainly did that. We're in rare form this morning because we have all this energy and then don't know really what to do with it.
This one.
Here we go.
Do you like how we do product placement even though we don't make any money at all? Counterculture coffee. This is called Big Trouble in honor of John Lewis, who just had his funeral. This is why I got it. They didn't make it necessarily. I don't know. I don't think they made it in honor of him. But what I think about is Representative Congressman John Lewis, who said that we need to get into trouble, good trouble, necessary trouble. So we have Big Trouble coffee. And if you haven't seen it yet, I put it on Facebook. I strongly recommend that you watch Obama's eulogy of John Lewis. It was like going to church plus a call for action plus some grief. Honestly, that's what I felt, that Obama is not our leader anymore. So it's just a lot happening, but go watch it. Like, it's beautiful and such an honorable tribute to a great leader.
Regardless of
led his whole life.
Yeah, regardless of what you think about the politics involved in American presidents and what party they subscribe to, it has to be kind of like a common thing that like Obama's going to go down as one of the greatest orators of all time. He's so articulate and so like
I wanted to crawl into his lap and curl up and have him just tell me stories. That's what I felt like.
Nice, yeah.
Oh my gosh, so
you saw it.
moving,
Good.
right?
Yes.
Just put me in a baby Bjorn Obama and take me on a walk, okay? That's what I need at this point. Just like put me in a baby carrier.
That would create so much.
Tell me it's okay.
Weird press.
Like I'm really not fine. And then the election's coming up and school is starting and everything is still weird. So here's the thing. This is what I know. All my dreams last night were about my sweet friend Caitlin that I've talked about a ton here, Caitlin Curtis. I'm reading her book every morning. Native. This is Caitlin's book, Caitlin Curtis. Highly recommend this book. Not in front of our faces. There you go.
Just quick.
So, okay. Do what you want. Okay.
Sorry.
That was quick. So, I had a dream about her, and we were just in New York, and COVID didn't exist, and we were just traveling, and we were doing readings of her book, and we were just joining with different people of all different races and ethnicities and socioeconomic backgrounds and statuses, and we were just eating comfort food from all these different families and communities and people, like just eating food together and telling stories and no like sort of danger. It was just like love and connection. That's what I'm dreaming about now. Like it's actually a dream. We can't really travel and do those sort of things right now. And it's like, that's what my heart, and even in my subconscious, when I'm like out of it sleeping, that's what my heart is for. And I bet in a couple years when we're those of us who make it through this pandemic, it's so dark, but true. I think we'll probably have nightmares about this time again, about like we're back in it and wearing masks and stuff. Like it is, I think, a collective sort of trauma possibly. I think it probably will be for a lot of us. So
it's an interesting point. Yeah, you and I both had very vivid, very wild dreams. We don't necessarily often have very vivid dreams, but both of us did last night.
I always do.
I kind of put it to the fact that maybe it's just the heat of the summer. Maybe it's the fact that we both were woken up at the like 1:30 or something with storms here in the middle Tennessee area.
Yeah.
And so it kind of disrupted our sleep schedule and threw us off a little bit. But if you're in the middle Tennessee area, I'd love to know if you also had wild dreams last night. But if you're not, and you still had wild dreams, and you're not necessarily used to that, I'd love to know that too. But
how long my fingernails are.
I love that you're having personal conversations, several, in the few minutes that we've been on here, several conversations that you usually hold off until it's just you and me, but you're having them with everybody here.
I missed you when I was sleeping.
I appreciate that.
I missed you so bad.
I'll take it.
Oh, man.
Let's do a quick check-in. How's everybody
It is true,
doing?
though. Aren't they long?
They are very long. Yes,
weird.
everybody. Teri has very long fingernails. For her. Yeah, those aren't very long for anybody else. Actually, mine are probably
But
longer at
I've
this
bitten
point.
my nails like my whole life, so this is just weird. Like nothing makes sense anymore. Nothing makes any sense.
All right, let's do a quick check-in. You know the drill. 1 through 10. How are you feeling today? 1 being not so great, 10 being amazing. And if numbers just hold you back, put anything you want
It
there.
could be multiple numbers.
Emoji,
you can make significant figures.
Right. You can just write out pi until it ends, which is never.
Ooh.
You can write in a phrase, whatever you need. So how are you feeling? I'd love to see from everybody. Thank you so much.
Avogadro's number today.
Ooh, nice. I like that.
I'm really not though.
What is your number
5.
today?
Come back to me. Come back to me.
Good.
When I think about it.
I'm at a solid 8 this morning, which is
That feels so offensive to
high.
me. Yeah.
But I can't not. I woke up this morning like so groggy. But now that I've gotten going, I've got so much energy that I'm actually nervous that I'm going to crash at like 9 a.m. I'm going to crash and need a nap because I've been just like bebopping and scatting and whistling and singing all over the house. I don't know where this energy has come from because, again, I don't feel like I slept that well. But, okay, emotionally drained, yeah?
My Whoop said my recovery is only 35% today. It's a wonder I'm able to be a biped.
Out of a possible 100, you had 35, man.
You know what I also feel like? No electronic device is going to tell me how I feel.
Why do you even look to that electronic device?
Because I'm also a woman of science.
Okay, I like it. I dig it. I'm here for it. So,
Do you know, and let me tell you all this story, if you want to know how I rank myself. When I was getting my PhD, the very first class that we took was assessment and testing. And so like psychological assessments. And so we had to take all of these batteries of tests for ourselves. Like we took the assessment on our own selves and then we had to learn how to score them appropriately. And there was this one assessment, I think it was Eric Erickson's stages of development. So it's based on like 0 to 2 years old, trust versus mistrust, like all the way through. But you had to take them all, no matter what age you were. So some of them don't even make sense because like they don't happen until you're like in your 50s or 60s. And I was, in my late 30s when this happened. So in one of the scores, the cutoff line was a certain number and I was below the line, but I disagreed with the assessment. So I just moved the line. I moved the cutoff myself. I was like, no, I'm totally above that.
This coming from a woman of science.
Yes. Science can be bended.
Tell Albert Einstein that.
He believed the same thing.
It's all relative, apparently.
It's all relative.
Apparently.
I took it very literally. So my number then, here's what I feel. I feel like there's a part of me that's at like a 2 or 3. And there's a part of me that is like at a 6 or a 7. And those two parts don't feel very connected right now, which is telling me I need to do some meditation and some grounded sort of
that's wise.
self-care.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I really love that you said that because oftentimes I feel that way too. That like, I don't know if this is exactly what you're saying, but sometimes I feel like
I splinched myself.
for all you Harry Potter fans out there, I hope you know what she just said. For you non-Harry Potter fans out there, it's a Harry Potter thing. It's not some like weird, vulgar thing that she just mentioned out loud.
You don't know that.
I'm just saying, I'm trying. I feel like that what I'm doing today is I am interpreting for Teri because she's throwing out a lot of stuff that if you don't know her very well, you may be confused.
Chris, and you're like my PR manager, but I can't be managed. So
Yes. It's kind of like if you guys have seen Key and Peele a few years ago, they did the it was like Angry Obama, and then he had his interpreter.
Yes.
What was his name? The interpreter? It was like Carl or something.
Oh,
anyway,
so
I feel like that I'm.
I
Yeah, I feel like I'm in your interpreter this morning. So, We hope you're having a good morning. We hope that you're going to have a good weekend. And we want to just wrap up what we've been talking about this week with a little chat about authenticity and integrity. So for a lot of the week, we talked about how we show up and what it may mean. There may be some fallout with showing up authentically and how that isn't a bad thing. It's just part of the process, that if you're not used to showing up in an authentic manner, when you start doing that, it may throw some people for a loop. People may be confused as to why you're showing up in this new way. And then we talked a bit yesterday, briefly, about how if you are going to accept yourself, who you are, how you are, whenever you show up, kind of like Teri this morning, she's in a very authentic place. And I love that about you. But if you are doing that, then if you are experiencing other people show up in a different way too, can you also be accepting of how they are showing up in the world? So
Glennon Doyle talks about this, and I love her work, especially her work around authenticity and integrity. She says there's no such thing as one-way liberation. There's no such thing as me telling the truth and showing up authentically for myself and that only being a good thing for me. Like, if integrity, the wholeness of who we are, liberates us, it is also going to liberate the other people around us too, the people that you're in relationship with. So I hear a lot of people show up in therapy, and I have struggled with this myself, and I don't want to speak for you, but I know it's you too. So
I don't want to speak for you, but I'm gonna.
But I'm gonna do it anyway.
Right.
But you can correct this if it doesn't feel like that fits for you too. But a lot of people feel super scared and afraid, not just to be themselves, but that being themselves is going to cause harm. It's going to hurt others if you tell the truth, if you are honest. So you're done with a relationship, but you don't tell your partner, and you just kind of hang in there because you don't want to hurt them. That is not helpful. That's not love. It's not loving. It's not kind. It's not any of those things. Right? Like, would you want to be a fool in your relationship too? Because that's really what you're asking the other person to be if you don't tell the truth, if you're not honest and authentic.
Yeah.
If you are not willing to be honest with yourself about your emotions, that is not helpful for you. Right? The part of you that is sad or angry or hurt or longing or scared deserves to be heard. And that will liberate you. We are terrified of feedback and criticism in our culture because we have this toxic positivity, productivity, capitalist bullcrap thing going on that just says, don't pay attention to your emotions. We need to be rational, right? Or the bullcrap that said for years, like, women are just too emotional to do things. What? You wish. Right? Like, emotion, that's how we know what matters to us. It tells us what we need. I don't want to hear anything about people saying that they aren't emotional. Yes, you are. Everyone is. You can't not be unless you've had a lobotomy, right? Unless there is some sort of damage to your brain. Do you cheer when your sports team wins? Yay, sports. You have emotion. I watched this happen when we watched the Utah Jazz and the New Orleans Pelicans.
Well done, babe.
Yay, sports. Everybody cheered. Even the Zoom people in their seats cheered. That's emotion. You know, when we feel angry and frustrated, right, that things aren't right or things aren't going the way that they're supposed to, that's emotion. And if we try to dismiss or deny those parts of ourselves, what it does is it gets in the way of everything, everywhere, all the time. Hi, Jillian. If we aren't willing or able to go and be authentic, to show up in the integrity, the fullness and wholeness of who we are, it hurts everyone. If you want to make the biggest, best impact in your family, in your workplace, and in the world, start by removing any blocks to your own integrity first.
And how difficult it is sometimes, because we have a lifetime of being told it's not okay. Or it's too
much. Be different, be kinder, be sweet, be molded if you're female. And we do this along gender lines. If you're a guy, you need to be direct, and you need to be a leader, and you need to show up, and you need to not go into these emotional places. You don't want to be weak or needy. Like, y'all, I do this all day, every day in my practice. I work with people who have gotten horrible messages from the families that you grew up in, from culture, from religion, from all kinds of places that try to tell you to be something other than what God created you to be, other than what you're wired to be. And here's the thing, you don't need to live by those messages anymore, but they're going to be tricky to unfurl from, to uncover, and to move through, because a lot of times we don't even know the messages that we're still operating under. So it takes intentional work a lot of times to go in there and listen. I want to offer you some compassion here. Brene Brown says that owning your story and loving yourself through that process is the bravest thing that we ever do. And it's true. It takes a great deal of courage to be in your integrity. It takes a great deal of courage to go and explore anything that's blocking you from that. For me to say, like, I'm at a 3 and to not feel shame and guilt has taken like a decade of work, just that. Like a decade of therapy, a decade of self-healing, a decade of meditation and love, and moving out of friend groups that wanted to keep me locked up in a certain image, in a certain box, and moving more into friendships that allow me to be flexible and fluid. I'm the ocean, not the shore. I will not be told what I look like.
Giving me the chills.
Right.
Yes. And I wanted to provide a bit of the, not counterpoint, but just adding to what you're talking about how women are being told that they are too much, and how there's an inherent message in there that if women are too much, then men, being from Mars and women are from Venus, or whatever these messages that we get growing
Don't
up,
read that book.
is
It's
that
terrible.
good morning, hey, is that we as men need to not be too much. We need to press ourselves down. And there's a message that is like solo, like we tell ourselves this individually, and then there's also the message for men that emotions are not okay. Unless you're cheering for that sports team,
or
unless you're angry and you gotta righteously like fix the world, that emotions aren't okay. But emotions are there for a reason. And it's just like,
they're awesome, y'all.
Yes, and you know how when you are
afraid of your own feelings.
Absolutely. You know how when you watch a baby learning how to walk, it looks awkward because they're not used.
Babies are so awkward.
Because it's not natural to them yet, but it is natural for them to eventually walk. So they have to get through this awkward stage to then be on their own 2 feet and to walk like they're supposed to be walking. That's the same way with emotions. If we're not used to expressing our emotions authentically or expressing emotions at all, then it's going to be awkward in the beginning stages. But that doesn't mean that it's not natural. Just like a baby, it is natural for a baby to get on its 2 feet and to struggle, and then they can get used to it.
Don't
and
they
then
scream?
before they know
You ever
it, we have
watched an
billions of
angry
people
baby?
walking around the world, walking around, looking around. But
Seinfeld.
and so it is a natural thing, but it doesn't mean that it's going to feel natural getting to that point. So we want to be here for you and to leave you with this message this weekend
here.
that it's okay. And yeah, exactly. We want this community to be a community where it's okay. It's a safe place within the box of these screens to come together Monday through Friday and to chat about this stuff. And to say, just like, who was it a little bit earlier that said, it was Holly, I believe, that said that too, because she's just emotionally drained.
Yes.
Thank you for showing up and being authentic.
That's right.
And saying that, saying what's true for you right now, and to use this as a safe space to kind of, to work those muscles, to get used to something that is supposed to be natural. But we as a culture have pressed it down, pushed it down, tried to beat it out of people for so long that it's not okay to be who you are. And we want to go exactly against that and say it is okay to be who you are. And let's use this venue to practice so that when we go out into the world with our loved ones, to our families, to our bosses, to our employees, to our friends and our family, then we can show up more authentically because we've used this as kind of the training wheels to get used to it.
Yeah, we love your humanity. All of it. It's
God,
messy
yes.
and kind of stinky and really funny and entertaining and sleepy and wide awake. You know, it struggles and it thrives. Like, humanity is the gift. That's the gift. You are the gift. Not what you do. Not what you contribute to the world. Right? Not all of the money that you make or the legacy that you leave.
Yeah.
It's you. You're the gift. You're humanity, the full range of who you are. And that's what we love and admire and adore. And so that means there are times you get to show up and there are times you get to go away and rest. And that's okay. We will be here no matter the season that you find yourself in. If the seas are big and swelling and it's, tropical storms or not. Like, let us be more like the seasons, right? The earth makes no apologies for fall, right? Even if you're wishing for spring. You're just going to have to wait it out, right? It's the way that we show up, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, what if we get to treat ourselves in the same way? That me at a 2 is not less valuable, less human. It's just different. That's where we need to go. And what if your body brings forward different emotions just to remember that you can go there, right? Like sometimes I wake up sad for no reason at all. I have no idea. And I'm like, oh, I guess my body just needs to flex that muscle. I have a sad, itch to scratch. Mm-hmm. And so my body just needs to practice being sad today. Or I'm happy for no reason. We don't question that when we wake up happy. Yeah. But we question ourselves. Do people ever ask you, what's wrong? Why are you so happy? Help me understand. Yeah. But they do if you're sad or angry. Your sadness and anger is not something to fix. It is something to pay attention to. It's something just to be curious about and to be aware of. There's nothing wrong with you. Right? We have to stop diagnosing and calling people names for reacting to completely normal situations. Like for you adapting to things. Just pay attention to those. I wonder what would happen in our world if people were able just to be who they are and to feel what they feel and to think what they think and to do what they do. I just think we'd all be a lot better off. So let's just start with us. Yes. Right here, right now, today. We can start a movement within ourselves that trickles out into everything, where we just embrace the wholeness of who we are.
Yes, Amanda. I'm the ocean, not the shore. Yes, just what...
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And so sometimes the ocean is big and scary, and sometimes it looks like a lake, especially if you grew up at the Gulf Coast like I did. We're there's not even a wave to be seen, and I can see all the way to the bottom, all the way out to the sandbar, right? So, it's okay. Sometimes there's a gunky seaweed in it and a bunch of dead fish. You know what? I had a bad day, okay? Right, sometimes it just is what it is. And I feel congruent now. Those parts of me that felt a little bit more split now feel much more together and aligned. And I think I just had some anger in my belly and some passion to speak some truth, right? Have you ever felt that way?
Yeah.
So what if we lead into our week in that sort of place?
Yeah. I mean, that's why the 3 things that we want to talk about here on the Come Together show are self-care. How do we take care of ourselves? And that's really a lot of what we've been talking about this morning. And then social justice, we as humanity together. How do we accept where we are and then accept how the world is, or not accept it and invite change in? And then also in relationships, then I feel like it's what makes us human, is that we have all of this humanity. And so we want to talk about social justice and how do we live as humans all together. And then how do we deal with ourselves? And that's the self-care portion. And then in our close relationships, how do we deal with that? So
let's not wait until we die and think that we're going to get to be authentic in heaven. Heaven is a place now where we can show up in the wholeness of who we are today.
Yep.
And I feel like God created you, and this is my personal belief, God created you perfectly. Perfectly for right here, right now, exactly as you are. And so you don't have to be afraid of yourself.
Yep. Try to get yesterday back, and you're not going to have success. Try to make tomorrow happen quicker, and you're not going to have a lot of success. We only have right now. So how can we show up authentically right now? And then once we've taken care of right now, then we can worry about the next moment as it arrives.
Man, in my next life, I might be a preacher. That would be so fun.
Do it.
Yeah, I really like that. I have a lot of fiery belly talks. Thank you for being here, each and every single one of you. Thank you for holding us accountable. Thank you for giving us feedback about what helps you, about the questions that you have. Thank you for your authenticity. Thank you for your integrity. Thank you for your hard days and your good days and everything in between. I'm just so honored and glad that you choose to take any amount of your life and your time to show up here in this space together as a community that cares about these same things, about loving yourself and loving others to the best of our ability right here, right now. So take this love and this energy and this care for yourselves and others into the world, and just anything that you need, you can come back and ask your community for that kind of support, and we will be here for you to the best of our ability to.
Love it. So go on.
Go be the ocean, babes.
Yes.
Go be the ocean.
Indeed. Take this weekend, go take care of yourself, check in with yourself, drink a big glass of water,
Drink some water.
Take some big, deep breaths, and we'll all meet right here again on Monday. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for participating. Thank you for being here.
I think we talk about emotions next week, right?
Yes, indeed.
If you want to go on an emotional roller coaster with us, we're here for it next week.
Yes, we should call all next week emotional roller coaster, because we're going to go through all of the emotions and how that impacts us and our relationships and in our world and in ourselves. So, see you soon. Talk to you then. You got this.
Love y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.